Are you ready to part the Red Sea?
Yes, I am.
Time to go over the latest. Are you ready to part the Red Sea with your ass?
The one part was his crack.
Are you ready to go over this Moses Sumney? We're going over this Moses Sumney album, Gray, Part 1.
Wow. Moses Sumney is an LA-based singer-songwriter known for his really nasally, high-pitched, spiritual kind of themes around his albums and his voice.
Yeah, his accent. I didn't mean to put theme in the notes, but like more of how he accents himself in that manner.
I like that like spirituality. I feel like kind of surrounds.
Yeah.
It
reminds me a little bit of Serpent Feet, how he presents himself in that manner.
They're very similar. He released Aromanticism back in 2017.
I don't really have experience with the album, but I know it's really critically praised for what it was. I tried getting into it around 2017 and I really couldn't, so I don't remember much about it, but I just wanted to bring note that this is his like second most well-known world to date. He's collaborated with acts like Flume, James Blake, and I was excited because the single Me in 20 Years was fucking fantastic, but it's not on this part. It's on the next part. But
speaking of the next part, the second part releases on May 15th.
So this is a
double album.
This is a double album.
And I'm glad that he didn't release it all at once.
Okay, yeah, I kind of like when double albums are split, but I'm still gonna listen to it probably as the double album, maybe.
Should we have held off the review?
No, because I think that's just more of an experience. Well, I'll focus more on the second part because if they're released in individual parts, it's meant to be listened that way.
Right. That's like kind of what I was thinking. Like I didn't like Shrem Life 3, a triple album. So released all at once.
That should have been like 3 albums.
Stupid.
But like
exactly.
I don't know. Like it says it's a double album, but part of me thought like also like. This is like a number project, not really like a double album. Saturation 1, 2, 3. That's not a 3-piece album. They have similar themes, but they're not like 3 projects. But yeah, I was really interested going into this thing because Moses Sumney has impressed me before in his features and his singles since, and I wanted to see what was up. What's up in this album? Pretty much all I expected.
It's all up.
It's all up. All looking up from here. Yeah, I think this is just phenomenal. I think this is a lot of fun to be had. I think his one of the things I had a worry about was his voice gonna get stale? No, it doesn't. It's still phenomenal. He mixes it up a lot. He finds voids to fit his voice. And there's some jazzier production at times. There's some more mechanical-like production at times. There's some more acoustic production at times. Indie bass production at times. Electronic bass production at times. It varies a lot. I really enjoy that. There's great moments like Conveyor, which has this repetitive...
It's got the Donkey Kong Country drums.
Has this repetitive anthematic percussion leading to his frail vocal breaking down the track, essentially, and having these weird repetitive vox moments at the end. Gagarin, I'm going to call it that, is very jazzy, lounge-like, with warm and hazy vocal distortion and dissonance, which is really awesome. And he's almost asking for life to dedicate his life to something bigger than himself. And it has this really great poetic moment on the verse. The galaxy is a broken mirror. Slowly the asteroid gets nearer. My stripe does not belong to me. For that big blue bolt, I'll let go. For that gold medal, surrender. Just almost hoping, realizing how small you are in the universe and how you aren't really going to amount to much in the grander scheme of things. But in the end, you got to find something to look forward to or something bigger than yourself with your ambition to lead to. There's some terrific thoughts about masculinity, like on Neither Nor, saying when I was a little boy, I'd scream at the vague misty nights, yet breathe out smoke with no fire. I'd become what I was scared of. I fell in love with the in-between, talking about masculinity and how it's viewed and how people almost view them with feminine qualities. And living in that in-between, how there really doesn't have to be a binary. And saying, because in the valley of the Shur, you cannot pick neither nor. You're fated to pick a door, only lonely or lukewarm. feeling like his struggle with masculinity leads them to be alone, and not having these masculine qualities leads them to be alone, which is really nice. And expressing that sentiment, not being alone is not nice, but expressing his own sentiment towards that, I think, is beautiful.
Yeah.
This actually has one of the more interesting breakdowns of polyamorous relationships on here, with Polly talking about, are you dancing with me or just merely dancing? Thinking about how people in polyamorous relationships there sometimes can be a struggle whether they feel like their moments really mean something or not in the grander scheme of things, since they go around so much. And then talking about how he doesn't want to live here, sometimes don't want to live at all. I want to be cotton candy in the mouths of many a lover. Talking about how he just wants to float and be different and not be tied to something. It's really one of those reflection of polyamorous relationships that showcases the background of the character that is in it, instead of just kind of poking the problems at it, which is nice. Because it still reflects the issues of the individual, but not issues of the problem. Or not the issues of polyamorous relationships, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And how a person could fit into that role, which is nice to express those things and express the sentiment of a track.
Yeah.
There's a really cool track called Colouor. I'm just going to call it Colouor, even though it's
Colouor.
Has these beautiful horns, and Moses Sumney is talking about how you try to convince someone to accent their color palette with makeup, and why don't you wear some color, bring out your eyes. You say you never bought her because you're telling lies. If this person doesn't want to live that life, Moses is trying to get them to express more about themselves, which I think is nice, and it's okay to wear makeup and express that type of personality. I think is fine, or express more about your personality through your look. It's fine, personally acceptable, even though it's not for everyone. There's a lot of great fantastical vocal sequences, like Cut Me and Viril. Lots of themes of masculinity and challenging it and being bold as an individual. And I think Moses Sumney is a completely bold and visionary voice that's completely extravagant, lovely, stylized. I could talk about this album a lot, but I think at the biggest grand of things, I love how he switches up the sound space to a bunch of different areas, creating a bunch of different hooks, catchy and nasally areas for his voice to fly in and out of. And he's truly the best thing about this project. He stands out as the most important thing to the Moses Sumney album, which makes sense.
I also don't think any of the sounds really overstay their welcome either. Like, he knows when to switch it up and knows when maybe a track has gone on for a little too long or has gone on for long enough. And he has no problem like ending it and switching to a completely new thing. But I think what really is cool is the transitions.
Yeah.
Transitions throughout this whole thing make it seem like it's a whole larger work, like that golden thread that's leading us through all the different soundscapes and all the different interludes, like intros and outros kind of things, which I also really enjoy. I like the little interludes in between this, between the full songs or like bigger projects, I guess. I think that they give the listener a nice break before you go into another like grandiose soundscape.
Yeah. I really don't have too much to say. I think he just completely varies his style super well. He doesn't seem stagnant. He seems completely liquid, almost like his ass under this waterfall. He just seems bold, reflective, emotional, able to be humanized, relatable. You can be empathetic towards him. There's just so many other adjectives I could throw his way. I really enjoyed this. Keep in mind, all scores are futile and meaningless right now. I'm thinking this is an 8+ currently.
I think it's an 8.
Yeah, and when the album comes out, combining the two pieces may higher the score, or lessen the score.
I will hire Moses Sumney
to part the Red Sea.
Yes.
Okay.